Hello and welcome. I am creating this masterclass, this mini masterclass, because I've been asked about copywriting. And one of the things I say over and over again is the mistake most people make when they're copywriting is thinking that it's anything different from a conversation. The word copy alone, like I've got to write some copy, can make people freeze and not do anything. Because copywriting sounds technical. Many people are taught that it is a formula. They can make it sound like a flippant job description, that you've got to study and master it and understand all the psychology hacks and write like an ad agency to make it come across perfect. You don't even need to think as yourself as a writer, because you're a coach. And guess what? What coaching is conversation. So what if you are seeing your copy as an extension of that? What if you can have writing that feels as though you're sitting across the table from somebody that you care about, that you're listening to them, that you're reflecting back what you hear, that you invite them forward? Because that's what real, genuine, authentic, and converting copy does. So I want you to throw out who you think copy or how you think copy should be done, and really look at finding your real voice, your voice. We want to be using your clients' words. And this is how sometimes having a niche is helpful, but it's absolutely not essential, especially when you're newer and you're starting out. When you understand your client's words, you share them instead of using the coachy speak, the jargon, the overcomplicated stuff that's actually empty because it's just a lot of words. You can make posts, emails, and even sales pages feel more natural. And you can build a practice, like get into a habit of writing content that flows than is forced. Because copywriting's not about tricks, it's about connecting. It's about connecting with the person that you're writing it for. Because it's only communication. It's the words that you use to connect with somebody. But instead of them being spoken, you're writing them. That's it. And most coaches trip up because you're trying to sound professional. They're trying to polish everything up so it's neat and it's tidy. And it ends up sounding nothing like they would speak. And then guess what? Instead of inviting connection and instead of saying things that people relate to, you just feel stiff and complicated. It's not good. Let's give an example, right? If somebody asks me what I do, I'm going to say, I help people who feel stuck in their business, like find clarity in who they serve, be able to connect with them, and build momentum through being more them, not less. Watch what happens if I try and like over polish it. But through my unique framework, I empower entrepreneurs to unlock their potential, elevate their business success. Oh, God, I feel sick just even saying it, right? So, can you see the difference? One's human, one's just a bunch of words stuck together that means nothing, and nobody really knows what that means. But a lot of people have been taught to speak like that. We're not creating brochures. And even if we did, we wouldn't want our brochures to sound like that. So out of those two, which one would you lean into? Which one would you, oh, tell me more? Or which one would you go, all right, lovely. And then, if you're in a networking meeting, which one would you be more likely to lean into? And which one would you quickly move on to the next person for? So remember, first and foremost, all your copywriting is conversation. You're talking to people. So if you go and look at something that you've wrote in the past, would you say that to a person like face to face? if you wouldn't say it in that way face to face, it doesn't belong in your copy. You'll notice the more that you get used to writing in your own voice, in who you are, and not who you think people want you to be, the greater the connections that are created, and actually the more conversations that come from that, because it all feeds into each other. If something that you've read feels a bit awkward, polished, you've just slipped into that performance mode. It feels human, connected. Like if you're doing like what I call the voice test, when you read it out, like if you wrote it, read it. How does it read? How does it speak? Is it how it speaks is how it's translated and heard in somebody's head. And we're going to be looking at what energy are you going to be coming from? Because when we are coming from a service-based energy, our energy feels it's open, it's curious, it's invitational. Like we are just not trying to have somebody think that they've got to buy something, but we are just inviting people to come along with us to have a conversation. That selling energy feels pushy, heavy. It's the one that literally has people step back and not step forward. It's like you're trying to get something out of somebody instead of trying to give them something. Service is giving, selling is getting. Selling is needle focused on you, which brings up all of your stuff. Service is focusing the needle on the person that you're talking to, and it's much easier to serve from that place. It's much easier to show up from that place. And your clients feel that energy before they've even met you, before they even become a client. So it's not about how can I convince somebody, it's how can I serve them as I write? How can I help them? How can I give value? So think about a client that you'd love to work with. Think about somebody that maybe you've had a conversation with. Write a short note. Maybe one that acknowledges that you know what they're struggling with. And add an insight that might help them. No pitch, no pitching, no selling, service. If you go and do that to a few people, some of them are going to be interested in hearing a little bit more. And just notice that when we're writing from the place of giving, it's just, it flows. It's easier. You're writing like a human talking to a human. And who doesn't want to be spoken to like a human? Now, when we are using our clients' language, we strip away all that gobbledygook of I help entrepreneurs pretty successful. It's look at the words that we should be using, and it's the words that our clients say, that you hear your audience say often. Having a word bank can be really useful if you're new to this and you don't know your clients too well. Have conversations. These days you can use ChatGPT to pick out patterns that are frequently used. But if you're writing something coming from you, and I literally noticed this in a Facebook group yesterday. Why are people not buying my offers? It's a great offer. It's really valuable. I know it's going to help them. I put so much time and energy into this. All of my blood, sweat, and tears went into this. And she wondered why nobody was interested, because there was nothing in it of what's in it for them. There was nothing speaking to the person, and it was all telling them about her. So when we're using our language, remember that we're in the coachy world, so we have a lot of coachy language, but most of our clients don't. Most of our clients will just be like, what are you talking about? And just be disinterested and disengaged. So they don't care about your framework. They don't care about your processes. They don't care about how clever your metaphors are. And my metaphors are never clever. They're normally a little bit weird. But they have to feel understood first, because that your frameworks and things come afterwards, but you have to have had that connection with them first. And the fastest way for somebody to feel understood is for them to feel and hear and have their own words reflected back. So let's look at a coachy speak thing. Like, imagine a coach, right? I help my clients transcend limiting beliefs and align with their highest potential. I've seen coaches like that. Does it sound impressive? Maybe to some. But guess what? How many clients wake up in the morning thinking, well, I think I'm going to transcend my limiting beliefs today? I don't think very many. What they probably think is, oh, sick of overthinking everything. Why do I keep getting in my own way? Why can everybody else do it and I can't? See the difference? So you write a post that says, you're tired of overthinking today. Are you sick of starting to write something and then just think, oh, what's the point? I can never say it good enough. Or somebody else always does it better. You keep getting in your own way and you don't even know why. Potentially, you've got some thinking that's getting in your way. This is what I do. I help people spot that thinking. So when they see it come up, it doesn't have to stop them next time. Can you see how easy that felt? Can you see, if you're reading that, how potentially a client's going to connect with that, because it's human to human speak, it's not coachy speak. So if you want to connect with somebody, write in their language, right? Get out of the coachy speak. And remember that you don't have to guess this. Like, get into some conversations, go and read some Facebook posts, or go and listen to in a cafe, listen to conversations in cafes, depending on where if your ideal clients are just people who aren't in this universe this weird universe that we're in. Go and take a look at emails, go and look at voice notes, go and see where people aren't filtering. This is why I love voice notes over emails sometimes, because or when you're getting reviews, I love voice note reviews because I can use that transcript. It sounds like a real person. Even look at the questions they ask before. If you've got an intake form, what questions do they ask? They're telling you their worries. They're telling you how they speak. So a language bank is really useful. A word bank is really useful. And when if something feels real and it feels like a bit emotional or honest, like, just put that phrase down. And then, like, look at how, when you hear that a number of times, it means something to them. Those words are gold. But even then, we don't want to be starting with clever copy and try and just feed everything back. We want to get into the listening phase first. Now, if you've already done my 6A framework, you will know that your clients will literally hand you the words. If you don't have my 6A framework, ask me for it and I will give you it. But when you know that, like, a client was, like, let's just say I've got a coach, because I work with coaches, so I'm going to still put coaches in a normal language. Think of one thing that a client said to you that really stuck with you. And it could be something that said to me, like, I'm shouting into the void, right? Like, social media, never going to get clients. If they say, I'm never going to get clients, or feel like I'm just shouting into a void, write that down. That's gold. And then you can write a post. You can begin with, I'm scared I'll never get clients. A client said that to me. And you know what? It's just, they're not the only person. This is such an unspoken, hidden way of thinking that drives so many coaches, especially newer ones. And you know what? We've all felt like that at one time or another. That doubt, that voice that goes, yeah, such and such can say better. That's okay. And you know what the difference is? That's not telling them anything about themselves other than they're stepping into a growth stage. Because every time we grow, we feel the feels. So we've got that, like, that phrase, and then put it into some copy. Think about it. People are then going to step forward. Oh, yeah, it's that invisible nod. I talk about the invisible nod a lot. So if I'm saying I'm scared I'll never get clients, and someone's reading that and they're not alone, because most people do it, most people are going to go, yeah. Mm-hmm. That little nod, because it's how they're feeling. Their words are being reflected back there. Their thoughts are being reflected back to them. That's why our 6 A's are so impactful. Do it again if you haven't done it for a while. You haven't done it properly, give it some time. Literally spending a couple of hours on doing my 6A framework could save you months of writing copy that doesn't connect and doesn't convert. So we don't want to be abstract. We don't want to be professional. It's just real and what really matters to a person. So think about how that works for you. Think about how that's how it feels, because it's much easier than we make it out to be. So if you've went through the 6 A's, you've got your client's language. And not only have you got their language, if you've done the 6 A's, you've got how that shows up in their behaviors, how that shows up in their relationships, what holds them back, where will they not step forward, what do they really believe about themselves, and how does that show up in all of their relationships? What else does that stop them doing? What else does that add to the thinking? If you've done the 6 A's in depth, you've got multi-layers to connect with your clients with. And when we can help our clients understand through stories that make them feel connected, that they're not alone, and that we know how we can help them. Because if we understand them, they're automatically going to think, well, they must know they can help. So think about it. Like, what got you into coaching? What's got you starting this business? It probably wasn't some entrepreneur speak. It was probably because you've seen the value for coaching for yourself. When you see the value for coaching yourself, that's the human connection we want to go and help people. But again, when people talk about, oh, I became a coach to do this, this, and this, they sanitize it. Keep it real. And you could do that with the people who are interested in coaching. What drew them to coaching? What interested them? What made them step forward and say, can I have a conversation? It's never a bullet point. It's never like a slideshow. It's about you giving your content emotion and life in a way that facts and tips never do. People won't remember like your clever phrases, but they'll always remember a story that moved them. If you tell them about like a struggle, people lean in. If you tell them about a moment that you've had, people lean in. It's why I share who I am. I don't mind. Because it makes people, gives them permission to do the same themselves. And our stories bypass resistance. If somebody's reading a list of benefits, their logical brain's going to go, yeah, but will that work with me? Yes, but what about that? I haven't got the time for that. And it's going to have a counterbalance for all of the benefits. But stories bypass that. So when they read a story and see themselves in it, you don't have to convince anybody. Like, they feel it in their body. It's that invisible nod. And that's why copywriting isn't about stuffing your words with power phrases. It's about being human. It's not about getting it right. It's about putting it all out there. And you've probably already done your origin story. You can, and if you haven't, like, go and write your origin story. What got you here? Why did you become a coach? Tell them a little bit about your life. Client stories. If they've given permission, great. If they haven't, take out all identifying markers and make them a little bit more generic, but keep the gold in the crutch of the story. Keep the message in it, and something that a client have went through. And the key is to look at the courage that the person had to step forward, the transformation that they had. They went from this to this. It's not your method. It's taking somebody on a journey that they really want to go on. And you're showing them that you've taken people on those journeys. And then you've got your the most overlooked, just everyday stories. Like, I share the weirdest of stories, from your sushi to broccoli in a plastic sword. but they're the most relatable. Like talking about a school run or like a conversation with a friend or in a coffee shop. There can be moments that seem really small, but these stories that you just show that you're human. And that's what people want, because they don't want to work with a machine, they want to work with a human. So you can have a structure in stories, and structure has its place. Hey, can you tell? So I could today go and write a post about, when you're creating a masterclass and it feels like you've got a hair in your face and you keep moving towards it all the time. I could have had the option of just deleting the masterclass and not holding it, not sharing it, and throwing away all that value. Or I can share it anyway and use it as an example of how it works. Because guess what? Most of the coaches have done something where they've had an itch, or someone's knocked on the door, or they've had a hair. It happens. It's human. People are going to go, yeah, I've had me as well. And they probably didn't put their stuff out there. That's going to help people. So I'm going to get back into the story. The story structure is a hook. It's like, what's that line that would make them stop scrolling? So it could be, never thought I'd get clients. The struggle. So we go into what was hard, what wasn't working, what felt messy. This is the part that people feel themselves in. And she could then go into, do you know what? Like, I was just putting copy out there, shouting into the void, not being able to get into conversations with people, feeling as though there was a million people in the world and not one of them wanted to talk to me. Right? Then we've got the shift, turning point. It could be an insight, a moment, or a choice. And that's when I decided to get a grip, because I noticed I was getting up in my head. I slowed it right down and I started asking myself, what do my clients need to hear? What does my audience need to hear? Then we go an outcome. Like, what happened because of that? What happened because of that is people started feeling heard. People started sending me messages. I really needed to hear that today because of this. And people connected, and I started having conversations because people realized I could help them. Who knew? And then you're going to come back to an invitation. So if you're struggling with that, maybe you could slow down. Maybe you could go look at a couple of your past posts on social media and go and look at how they've been delivered. Would you want to go and have a conversation with that person? Right? So an invitation doesn't always have to be an obligation to sell if we're serving. And that is sometimes, like, the highest paid service is a paid coaching conversation. But we can serve a few times, and then sometimes people are automatically going to come and say, can we have a conversation around this? Like, you're speaking, like, it's as if you're in my head. I get that a lot. So this is exactly how that works. And it matters because when we're telling the stories, we're building emotional safety for our people. Potential clients can see that you've walked that path, that you can walk them on that path. They can see that you're not an expert that's up here on a level, because nobody wants to work with somebody that they're intimidated by, but a human being that, like, you know what, me too, I get it. Because that builds trust. That helps them then start to imagine it's possible for them. They're able to see that possibility, and that builds an invisible bridge between, like, where they are and the support that you offer. And it's a conversation where you don't have to convince anybody. So the invitation now is for you to go and practice writing something. Use conversational language. Build it into how you can speak it back. And really remember that great copy is not smart and professional. Include empathy. Show that you know that you understand them. Acknowledging their challenge and their desire. using stories, sharing insights, might be a reflection, might be offering something for them to see differently, or it might be something that you've seen differently. You can ask a question at the end, you can offer a new perspective, and the invitation is to do just that. So you can also look at, if you want to have a sales page for this, what do they want? What's in their way? What's possible? How do you help? Clearly, simply don't overcomplicate it. And what's the next step? So if you want to write a sales page, you can do that. If you want to write a social media post, go and do that. And get into a practice of doing this. Like, set a time out, write for 5 minutes. Don't edit it, just write. And let the words get out. Because you know what, over time, these are going to become like little bits that you can add in. You can also write some voice notes and then put those into words. You can voice note Otter, you can use your phone, get that, use Zoom and transcribe it. Keep your own note bank and just go and write something, pop it into the group so we can see what you wrote, and everybody can support each other, because it's not as complicated as we think it is. We're talking human to human, and that's the only copywriting strategy really that you're ever going to need.